Tonight, on First at 9 this Wednesday the 20th of August 2025. Accountability. CID arrests former IGP Deshabandhu Tennakon in connection with ongoing investigations into his conduct during the 2022 People's Uprising. Backlash. Tourism service providers criticise government's decision to issue temporary driving licenses to tourists. Transport Minister announces plans to revise pricing structure. Truth bomb. Former President Maithripala claims mastermind behind the Easter attacks is well known and accuses government of being too afraid to take action. Kite Festival. All set for the 2025 Derana Signal Columbo International Kite Festival happening on August 24th at Goalface Green. Participants from over 25 countries are expected to attend.
Asian Paint Causeway Aquasif Miladikina LED TV run voucher ඇතුළු තවත් හැකි රසක් දිනා ගන්න.
This is Ada Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening, you're joining First at 9, brought to you by Sri Lanka's most trusted news source, Ada Derana. I'm Tarindu Mahendra, joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. In your top story this evening, President Anura Dissanayake has instructed officials of the Ministry of Rural Development, Social Security and Community Empowerment to ensure that allocated funds are effectively utilised to improve the living standards of rural communities. Meanwhile, during a pre-budget meeting with the Ministry of Health, plans were announced to expand the number of primary healthcare centres and revise procurement guidelines for the healthcare sector. These directives aim to empower rural populations to contribute directly to the national economy. The President emphasised that channeling funds into villages could rapidly strengthen rural economies. He also stressed the importance of supporting persons with disabilities, instructing that measures be taken to prevent their marginalisation. He further directed that budget proposals include training programs for social service officers. Meanwhile, the President called on Health Ministry officials to pay special attention to strengthening primary healthcare services. According to the President's media division, one primary health centre currently serves 30,000 people. Government plans to improve this ratio to one centre per 10,000 people. The discussion also addressed challenges in medical equipment procurement, with proposals to revise procurement guidelines, including for the Ayurveda sector, and to upgrade the facilities of the National Medicines Regulatory Authority to ensure the quality of medicines. The President instructed that essential service vehicles such as those needed by the National Blood Transfusion Service be procured within the year. He also highlighted the need to use foreign aid and grants effectively and recommended resolving provincial level issues through dialogue. It was further revealed that the Suwasaria ambulance service currently operating in 272 locations will be expanded to 400.
Brand new TVS X100 යතුරුපැදියක් ගන්න.
The ongoing trade union action initiated by postal workers has resulted in financial losses to the government exceeding 100 million rupees. Postmaster General Ruwan Satkumara urged trade unions to resume work immediately, stating that their issues can be resolved through negotiations. However, the striking trade unions reiterated that they will continue their industrial action until concerns regarding fingerprint-based attendance recording and overtime pay are adequately addressed.
The strike, which began at the Central Mail Exchange in Colombo last Sunday, was initiated by the Postal and Telecommunication Officers Association and the Joint Postal Trade Union Front. The walkout stems from 19 unresolved issues, including the introduction of fingerprint scanners and disputes over overtime compensation. As a result, services at the Central Post Mail Exchange remain suspended, with letters and parcels reportedly piling up. The strike has also disrupted postal services in Colombo and many surrounding areas. Despite the Postmaster General's appeal to end the strike, postal trade union representatives have expressed strong dissatisfaction with the statements made by the subject minister and the postal administration regarding the strike. The Postmaster General and the Minister, through media, are trying to portray that we are demanding overtime pay unjustly. If the government recruits enough staff to fill the vacancies, there would be no need to pay for overtime. When we look at the health sector, which falls under the same minister, most institutions do not use the fingerprint attendance system. Therefore, it is regrettable that without introducing a suitable system, the ministry is forcing the postal department to implement fingerprint scanners. Meanwhile, the Sri Lanka Postal Services Union raised concern about staff on cover duty being required to work beyond the standard 8-hour workday, a matter that has been raised before the Committee on Public Enterprises. However, the All Ceylon Sub-Postal Officers Association has stated that their members will not participate in the strike. Postmaster General Ruwan Satkumara reiterated that the postal strike has already resulted in losses exceeding 100 million rupees. By adhering to government policies, all parties can engage in constructive discussions to resolve these issues. Therefore, I urge all employees to return to work immediately. In a related development, 9 academic employees of all state universities, affiliated institutions and regional centres launched a 24-hour token strike from 8 am today. The action is based on several unresolved demands. Meanwhile, the Joint Health Workers Union launched protests this afternoon in front of the Columbo National Hospital and the Columbo Teaching Hospital, demanding the urgent filling of health sector vacancies. Amid these developments, Secretary to the Ministry of Health, Dr. Anil Jasinger, has issued a circular temporarily suspending the approval of both foreign and domestic leave for health sector employees until further notice.
Tourism service providers raised concern over the government's decision to issue temporary driving licenses to tourists at a cost as low as 2,000 rupees, claiming it has negatively impacted the livelihoods of many individuals reliant on the tourism industry. Responding to these concerns in Parliament today, Minister Bimal Ratnayake clarified that these licenses do not grant tourists the right to operate vehicles for commercial purposes during their stay in the country, and added that measures will be taken to revise the pricing structure for the licenses.
The Department of Motor Traffic recently introduced a streamlined system allowing foreign tourists to obtain temporary driving license upon arrival in Sri Lanka. These licenses are now being issued directly at Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayaka, facilitating immediate access to local road travel. However, this development has drawn significant opposition from local tourism service providers who have voiced strong concerns over the implications for their industry.
This is the license I obtained, for which I paid over 70,500 rupees. In contrast, tourists are able to acquire similar license for just 2,000 rupees. While Thailand is renowned as a top global tourist destination, even there, visitors must undergo several mandatory assessments, including medical examinations, vision tests and written evaluations before being granted a license. Following the decision to issue temporary license to tourists, Minister Bimal Ratnayake remarked that local tourism workers should seek alternative employment. But has the government actually created any viable job opportunities for us?
Meanwhile, Minister of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation Bimal Ratnayake addressed the matter in Parliament today.
The move to issue on-arrival driving license to tourists was made in recognition of the critical role tourism plays in the nation's economic development. This isn't an entirely new measure. The policy existed before, but the process has now been simplified. We have also taken steps to eliminate the fraudulent practices that previously plagued this system. While some misuse may still occur, mechanisms have been implemented to reduce it. Importantly, these licenses do not permit tourists to operate three-wheelers. Although such permission may have been granted in the past, they are not allowed under this initiative. Concerns have also arisen regarding tourists driving large vehicles like vans, buses and lorries. According to existing law, tourists are strictly prohibited from earning income through tourism services within the country. Any such activity is deemed illegal. The licenses granted are strictly for light vehicles. Tourists are not authorized to drive public transport vehicles. If any tourist is found providing such services, legal action must be taken by the relevant authorities. Furthermore, during our consultations with tourism stakeholders, the issue of the low cost of these licenses was highlighted. We acknowledge this and intend to revise the pricing structure. With cabinet approval, new regulations are being drafted and will be gazetted to formalize these changes.
Cabinet cabinet අනුමැතිය මත ඊට පස්සේ රෙගුලාසි ගැසට් කරන්නත් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
හොඳම ෆෝන් එකක් ගන්න. ළඟම බාන්ස් එකට යන්න.
New Democratic Front MP Chamara Sampath Dasanayake claimed in Parliament today that the chairman of the Janata Estate Development Board has resigned, citing undue pressure from the subject minister and the ministry's secretary. However, Minister Samantha Widyarathne firmly denied the allegation.
මුලින්ම කියන්න ඕන ජනතා වතු සංවර්ධන මණ්ඩලයේ හිටපු සභාපතිතුමා
The chairman of the Janata Estates Development Board, who was legally appointed by the president, has resigned from his post. Although the appointment was made by the president, the chairman claims he was pressured to step down. According to reports, the secretary to the ministry pressured him to provide the circuit bungalows to personal acquaintances. Additionally, the minister allegedly pressured the chairman to transfer 70 acres of land in the Pannala Ganemul area to his associates, a request he refused. There is no need to speculate. The chairman himself has stated he will personally report the matter to the president with all the relevant details. A case has also been filed against Minister Vasantha Samarasinghe before the Mount Lavinia Magistrates Court. Separately, another case has been filed against the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Security, Ravi Senaviratne, who oversees the police. It's notable that the Mount Lavinia Magistrate has now been transferred.
අද ගල්කිස්ස උසාවියේ ඉන්න නඩුකාරයා මාරු කරලා තියෙනවා.
ඔබතුමිය දන්නවා මහේස්ත්‍රාත්වරු ඇතුළු ඒ විනිශ්චයකාරුවන් පිළිබඳව
Magistrates and judges are transferred independently by the Judicial Service Commission. I am not aware of when the investigations related to the cases mentioned by the MP began, but I assume these are not recent developments. Therefore, this criticism is not aimed at the government. It is a critique of the judicial system itself.
කෙලින්ම ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණයට අභියාචනාධිකරණයට අධිකරණ සේවා කොමිසමට මේ විවේචන කරා.
අද අධිකරණ ක්ෂේත්‍රය තුල
The judges within the judicial system are fully aware of the current situation. These issues are being widely discussed. It is our responsibility to raise these concerns in Parliament, as it is the right platform to do so. When individuals are treated unfairly, Parliament is the only place they can turn to. We will not stop speaking on this matter simply because we are told not to.
ඒක නිසා එතනදී අපි කියලා තියෙන්නේ ඒක කවුරු හරි ඇවිල්ලා මෙතන කිව්වට මේක නවත්තන්න බෑ.
විශේෂයෙන්ම ජනතා වතු සංවර්ධන මණ්ඩලයේ සභාපතිතුමා
The chairman of the Janata Estate Development Board resigned, citing personal reasons. However, claims have been made that his resignation was due to pressure from the ministry's secretary and the minister urging him to hand over land to their associates. I firmly state that no such incident occur. If such claims are being made, let him provide proper evidence.
පුළුවන් නම් එයාට අපි කියන එළිය ගිහිල්ලා මේවා කියන්න සහ ඔප්පු කරන්න කියලා.
දැන් අවාසනාවකට කරුණ තමයි දීර්ඝ කාලයක් තිස්සේ දේශපාලන
The unfortunate reality is the government continues welfare programs that could be described as one of the most politically selfish moves in Sri Lanka's political history. That said, my personal opinion is different. If we do not provide a structured, scientifically developed and rational program, the impoverished population in this country will continue to grow. To build a prosperous nation, we must first be rich in mindset. The poor in this country still place their hopes in politicians. I call on the government to present a clear, reasonable plan that genuinely supports and uplifts the underprivileged.
අර්ථාන්විත වැඩපිළිවෙලක් අවංකව ඉදිරිපත් කරලා ඒ වැඩපිළිවෙල ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න කටයුතු කරන ලෙස මේ රජයෙන් උදක්ම ඉල්ලා සිටිමින් මම නිහඬ වෙනවා.
Lanka Salt Limited announced a price reduction on its iodized salt products to ease the burden on consumers. Chairman Nandana Tilaka stated at a press conference today that effective from next week, the price of a 1 kilogram packet of salt powder will be reduced by 30 rupees to 200 rupees, while the price of a 400-gram packet will be reduced by 20 rupees to 100 rupees. A 400-gram packet will also be available for just 90 rupees at Lanka Satosa outlets. Meanwhile, a 1 kilogram packet of crystal salt will now be sold at 150 rupees. Former Inspector General of Police Deshabandhu Tennakone was arrested by the Criminal Investigation Department today in connection with the ongoing investigation into his conduct during the People's Struggle in 2022. Meanwhile, the Columbo Chief Magistrates Court issued a notice to former Minister Rajitha Senaratne, who is evading arrest, directing him to appear before the court on August 29th. Former Inspector General of Police Deshabandhu Tennakone was arrested by the CID this afternoon at his residence in Hokandara in connection with an investigation into his failure to issue orders to prevent the attack on demonstrators at Goldface Green on May 9, 2022 during the People's Struggle. Earlier this morning, Colombo Fort Magistrate Nilupuli Lankapura rejected an anticipatory bail application filed on behalf of Tennakone, which sought an order to prevent his impending arrest. Following his arrest, Tennakone was taken to the CID premises for questioning. The suspect is due to be produced before the Fort Magistrates Court tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court today issued a notice to former Minister Rajitha Senaratne, who is currently under an arrest warrant, directing him to appear before the court on August 29th. Colombo Chief Magistrate Tanuja Lakmali issued the notice following submissions by the Bribery Commission with regard to the case concerning the 2.62 billion rupee loss caused to the government due to the irregular implementation of a sand dredging project at the Kirinda Fisheries Harbour. Police Inspector M. Vimalaratna of the Bribery Commission's Corruption Investigation Division stated that searchers at 5 locations had failed to locate former Minister Senaratne and that investigations conducted using Senaratne and his associates' mobile phone numbers had been similarly unsuccessful due to his phone being disconnected. The Bribery Commission requested that the court issue a statement compelling the suspect to give a statement as the investigation has been unable to be completed due to the inability to record a statement from suspect Rajitha Senaratne. It is reported that the statement issued by the court today regarding the suspect is to be displayed at the court and at his residences. In the meantime, former Minister Manusha Nanayakara arrived at the Illegal Assets Investigation Division of the Criminal Investigation Department this morning. He left the premises later this evening after providing a statement for nearly 7 hours. In another related development, the Colombo High Court today scheduled for September 7th the pre-trial conference in the case filed by the Bribery Commission against former Minister of Investment Promotion Lakshmaniyappa Abewardena and former Director General of the Board of Investment Jayantha Edirisinghe. The duo were indicted on the 30th of June over charges of causing a loss of over 1.7 million rupees to the government due to the use of BOI funds to publish newspaper advertisements for the second anniversary of the inauguration of then President Mahinda Rajapaksa in 2014. When the case was called before Colombo High Court Judge Pradeep Aberatne, the attorney appearing for the Bribery Commission requested permission to make several amendments to the indictment, to which the court concurred. The attorneys appearing for the defendants meanwhile stated that they expect to present preliminary objections regarding the indictments, and the judge ordered the objections to be presented at the commencement of the trial. Welcome back. Vietnamese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Trinh Thi Tam, expressed hope that bilateral trade would reach the $1 billion mark in the near future. She made these remarks while addressing a ceremony held in Colombo yesterday to commemorate the 80th anniversary of Vietnam's independence and the 55th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two nations. A ceremonial event commemorating the 80th anniversary of the Independence Day of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam and the 55th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Sri Lanka was held in Colombo yesterday. The occasion was graced by Sri Lanka's Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath and Vietnamese Ambassador to Sri Lanka Trinh Thi Tam as chief guests. The event saw the participation of several ministers and diplomatic representatives from both government and opposition parties. The celebration featured vibrant displays of Vietnamese culture, offering attendees a glimpse into the rich heritage and traditions of Vietnam. The event marked a significant milestone in the long-standing friendship and cooperation between the two nations.
With the stable trade relations and promising prospects for further collaboration, our relationship stands on a strong foundation. As we look ahead, we are committed to expanding this partnership into new and emerging domains while continuing to work closely in regional and multilateral fora to uphold peace, security and sustainable development. The recent state visit of His Excellency President Anukumara Dissanayake to Vietnam has paved the way for a new chapter in our partnership, one that promises to invigorate collaboration in areas such as trade, investment, education, renewable energy and cultural exchange. Sri Lanka is dedicated to deepening trade, investment and tourism ties with Vietnam. Sri Lankan investments in Vietnam totals to a registered capital of more than $43 million, particularly in the apparel sector. And we encourage further collaboration, including government-to-government investments and private sector partnerships.
Over more than 5 decades, our two countries have maintained strong engagement with regular exchanges of visits and contacts at all levels. To promote cooperation across key sectors, we have established 3 important bilateral mechanisms at minister and deputy minister level that meet regularly and signed nearly 50 MOUs and agreements. Our bilateral trade has grown significantly from just $30 million in 2000 to approximately $300 million over the recent years, and we are committed to bringing it to $1 billion in the near future, as reaffirmed in the joint statement released during Honorable President Dissanayake visit to Vietnam. Currently, Sri Lanka has 30 projects in Vietnam with a total registered capital of over $43 million.
The Columbo bourse closed in green today as a result of price gains in counters such as John Kills Holdings, Hatton National Bank and Sampath Bank. The benchmark all-share price index climbed 0.70% to settle at 20,714.80 points. The more liquid S&P Sri Lanka 20 increased by 0.81% to end at 6,105 points. Market turnover crossed 11 billion rupees. Foreign participation in market activity remained at subdued levels, with foreigners closing as net sellers, offloading shares worth 1.4 billion rupees. Welcome back. All is ready for the 2025 Derana Signal Colombo International Kite Festival to colour the skies of Colombo on August 24th at Goldface Green. The festival will see the participation of kite flyers from across 25 countries alongside 500 local competitors coming together for what promises to be a spectacular celebration of art, culture and international companionship.
Derana's Loke Saha Lokayo, regarded as Sri Lanka's most popular morning television program, first launched the Loke Saha Lokayo Kite Festival in 2015, bringing vibrant skies and joyful gatherings to audiences across the island. Since 2016, the event has soared beyond national boundaries, evolving into the Derana International Kite Festival. Being held for 3 consecutive years, the Kite Festival welcomed large crowds and featured enthusiastic participation from both local and international competitors. Now all is set for the 2025 Derana Signal Colombo International Kite Festival, poised to become the largest international kite festival in Sri Lanka's history. The festival will take place on the 24th of August at the Goldface Green, promising a spectacular display of colour and craftsmanship. Jointly organised by TV Derana, the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau and the Sri Lanka Police, this year's event will see the participation of over 500 local competitors and 55 international kite flyers, representing 25 countries competing under 7 categories. The foreign competitors have already arrived in the country in the lead up to the event. A special meeting focused on security and traffic management for the Kite Festival was held yesterday at the police headquarters, chaired by Inspector General of Police Priyantha Weerasurya and attended by representatives from TV Derana. In addition, a press conference was held this afternoon at the Ministry of Tourism ahead of the International Kite Festival.
Due to the challenges the country faced post-2018, we were unable to host the largest kite festival in the country. However, during that period, members of the Derana Media Network represented Sri Lanka at several international kite festivals held in various countries. These global experiences inspired us to bring a world-class kite festival back home. This initiative is driven by 2 key objectives. First and foremost, it aims to promote Sri Lanka's tourism sector on a global stage. Secondly, we hope to encourage more outdoor recreational activities, especially among children. I am proud to share that the Colombo Kite Festival is now a recognized member of the International Kite Federation and has been officially listed on the International Kite Festival calendar. This positions Sri Lanka to host this global event annually in the years ahead. I believe that this is a milestone achievement for the country. Events like the Colombo Kite Festival are essential if we are serious about establishing Colombo as a vibrant, recognizable brand in the international tourism landscape. In the lead up to the event, a significant volume of global media content will focus on Sri Lanka, our capital city, and this festival. We strongly believe that initiatives of this nature will significantly boost our country's visibility and appeal among global audiences, resulting in increased tourist arrivals.
There would be around 1,500 police personnel to take care of yourselves. So, police, including the Special Task Force and the State Intelligence, officers in civil attire within the premises and the outer premises, also see that your civic rights are being well protected.
We estimate that between 600 to 700,000 people will gather at the Goldface Green to witness and participate in the Kite Festival. To manage this large influx, we have designed a comprehensive traffic plan to minimize congestion and ensure smooth flow in and around the festival grounds. Accordingly, the Goldface Green, the Goldface Green roundabout and Gold Road will be kept clear to facilitate vehicle access for attendees. Additionally, we have arranged free parking for up to 7,575 vehicles directly around the venue. Overall, our parking capacity has been extended to accommodate up to 10,875 vehicles.
Derana Signal Columbo International Kite Festival 2025.
Former President Maithripala says that although the government, military and intelligence agencies are aware of the mastermind behind the Easter Sunday attacks, the country lacks the strength to confront this individual. He made this remark while attending the inaugural ceremony of the Asian Geopolitical Stability and Peace Council held today in Colombo.
The inaugural ceremony of the Asian Geopolitical Stability and Peace Council, which aims to foster cooperation in developing sustainable solutions to emerging geopolitical trends, regional peace and security and environmental challenges, took place today at the Columbo Foundation Institute.
අපිට ලෝකේ සාමය තිරසර සංවර්ධනය සහ භූදේශපාලනය ගැන කතා කරන විට
On global peace, sustainable development and geopolitical dynamics, I must candidly state that certain world leaders, particularly from powerful nations, exhibit troubling patterns of behavior, often appearing driven by a dangerous obsession with conflict. They need the wars to continue. Particularly, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's actions have repeatedly sparked conflict, first with Palestine and then with Iran. In response to Iranian countermeasures, the US under the Trump administration launched airstrike on Iran using B-2 bombers. These countries could have provided funds for the betterment of the vulnerable communities and the countries. There was a time when homelessness was virtually non-existent in countries like the United States and across much of Europe. The situation has changed drastically now. The homeless are seen wandering on the streets of the US. I will openly say this. The recently signed India-Sri Lanka Defence Agreement poses significant long-term risks. Over 2,500 employees remain idle and consequently a large amount of funds are wasted as salaries. These issues were not prompted due to internal shortcomings. Rather, they were prompted by foreign intervention in the country's affairs. Similarly, these forms of global interventions continue to persist in the country. A similar incident led to the defamation of my character as well as the collapse of my political party and the government at the time. I've already reported the matter to the CID, but this truth cannot be revealed to the public. Although everyone is attempting to punish the mastermind behind the attacks, everyone is well aware of the true mastermind. The army officers, intelligence officers are aware of this mastermind. However, we are not able to fight back with the mastermind behind these attacks.
මාමලකාරය කවුද කියලා මේ හැම ආණ්ඩුවකම අයත් දන්නවා හමුදාවල අයත් දන්නවා බුද්ධ්‍යංශවල අයත් දන්නවා නමුත් මාමලකාරයා කොහෙද ඉන්නේ කියලා කිව්වට මාමලකාරයාත් එක්ක අපිට සටන් කරන්න පුළුවන් කමක් නැහැ.
That's all for tonight from First at 9. Thank you for joining. Have a great night.